It's Tuesday. How do you know it's Tuesday? Because it's raining tacos. Oh. How fantastic is that? Like, actually though. I can't even help myself. Every time. Oh, how can you have a bad day? Like, after that, it's almost as good as my bacon song. So, it is Bout It Tuesday, and we're gonna hang out, and we're just gonna talk about some stuff today. If you are watching on Facebook, I did actually, Crystal, look at how proud you'd be of me. I actually typed a whole description. Not only did I type a description, I actually picked what we're going to talk about and I wrote it down. How smooth, right? How smooth. So first thing we're going to talk about on the list is Vegas, baby. Vegas. So I want to know who want to come to Vegas. So as you guys may or may not know, I, Dory style, decided I'm gonna go to Vegas for a week. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be there. And when you guys want to come and join me, you can come and meet me there. So I'm gonna be in Vegas for 1 full week. I will arrive on the Tuesday night, which is February 26th. I will arrive around 7 o'clock Tuesday night, and I've built time blocks because this is how organized I am. So I'm not gonna lie. When I get off the plane on Tuesday night, I'm gonna go to my hotel and I'm hitting the nickel slots. So I did book a time for 9 p.m. So if anybody wants to early bird and meet me first, 9 p.m. I'ma hit Fremont Street for the nickel slots. And then I decided this. We'll book basic time slots. So we'll do noon, 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. So I've booked those off in my calendar for each day. Now, Wednesday, I know right off the bat, Wednesday, I want to go get my nails done. Wednesday afternoon, 3 p.m. is spa day. Like, take it or leave it, come or don't. Wednesday is spa day because I want to get my nails done the first day when I arrive so that I can have them for the whole week. So Wednesday, we're going to plan a spa day event. So whoever wants to come on the Wednesday, if you live local in Vegas, if you're coming in, if you want to come in for part of the days, just the weekend, it's all good. There's no scheduled events, so it's not an obligation to come for the whole week. I'm just going for 7 days. So if you guys want to just, pop out to Vegas for a weekend and meet me and have some hella fun, that's what we're going to do. Hello, my darlings. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Lindy. Hello, Chantel. Hello, Luann. It is so awesome to see you, Miss Krista. Darlings, so that's how Vegas is going to work. Now, we have several friend groups based out of Vegas. So what I intend to do is co-host events with those groups where we can do whatever kind of meet and greet they want to do with their local group. Most of those will likely be on the weekend because that's when everybody is available. But I'm going to open it up. I'm going to start making posts about events, and you guys can have your say. What days you want to come, what events you want to plan, and what kind of stuff you want to hang out and do. Like, are we going to do a shopping trip where we can talk about sizing down clothes, and we can talk about essential wardrobe pieces? What are transitional? What will size down with you? We could do that. We're definitely doing spa day. I almost would like to go on the old-fashioned Vegas bus tour and hang out and chat keto on the bus tour. So it's really open. You guys know me. I'm a lot of fun. I'm open to doing a lot of different events and different kinds of things. So let's open it up. Let's start chatting about Vegas and decide what we want to do, because it's going to come up on us like that quick, but it's going to be so much fun, like the most fun ever. I'm sure of it. Like, I can feel it already in my bones. Just saying. I mean, not to brag, but I'm kind of a lot of fun. Oh, my son will love that. He'll be like, yes, Mom, say that you're fun. I like it better when you say you're cool. Actually, I think he likes it best when I say I'm hip. I'm hip like that. You don't know. And he's all like, Mother, the kids don't say hip. And I was like, you don't know. You don't know because you're not hip like that. If you were, you would know. Sorry, don't know what to tell you. Okay, so that is number 1 on our list. Tick, check. I'm so organized today. What? Just saying. Okay, so number 2 thing we're going to talk about today is what's up in keto news. So you guys may or may not know that Jimmy Moore's new book drops today. It's available today. But something else happened, and Jimmy's account got hacked on Instagram over the weekend. So if you're watching on Facebook, the link is above to go follow his brand new profile. We don't want to miss out on any of the awesome Jimmy rants, because, man, we love Jimmy. And I don't know, I kind of feel like it's the whole internet against keto conspiracy thing, right? Like, oh, quiet all the people who are making all the difference, you know? Some people aren't making as much money as they used to, right? Some people aren't making as much money as they used to. Just putting that out there. How about a group that promotes you move to Colorado? Yay, move to Colorado. Do you know what? Here's the thing. If you guys don't live close to me, this is what we can do. You can plan group events where people join up together, where you do like a meet and greet, and you can invite me to join you on Instagram Live or on Facebook Live. And I am totally down. Like, I will totally join you guys live. We can hang out, we can chat, you can ask questions, we can trade recipes, whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of the internet, is you guys don't have to be anywhere near me. I've done lives with people in India, so nowhere is too far away. And you know what? No little event is too small to ask me to come hang out with you guys. If you're, getting together with 3 or 4 girlfriends and you guys just want to chat about keto, invite me. I'm sure we can work in a time that I can hang out with you guys, because there's nothing I love better than hanging out with you guys. I can't lie. Like, it's so my absolute favorite. And yes, kids do say hip. They do. They just do. I don't care what anybody says. I'm sticking to that. Like, I'm sticking to it like it's the only glue I got. Like, that's the only glue I got. I'm hip like that. You don't know. You're the boss of me. Just saying. Okay, so that is number 2 on the list of things to talk about. Number 3. We're going to talk about upcoming Q&As. Let me just get you guys set up a little bit better there on Facebook. You're plugged in, so you have sort of a weird angle. Sorry for that, by the way. I love you anyways. You're just looking at me at a weird angle today. You're looking at mostly ceiling. Look at the pretty lights on the ceiling. Oh, it's so pretty. I'll turn them up for you to get more lights. See how generous I am? I guess except for the people who don't like my lights, because really, there are people who don't like my lights. They're like, oh, is there any chance that you ditch those? They're really distracting. I understand they represent colorful keto and all, but they're super distracting. And I was like, no. No, I like my lights. I like them. And you know what? I would say I've only ever gotten 2 messages, where people said to me, could you ditch the lights? I don't like the lights. And I literally get hundreds of messages where people say, oh my God, I love your lights. As soon as I see the lights going, I know it's you, Dory. I know it's colorful keto with Dory. I know I'm about to have some fun. I know stuff about to get fun up in here when I see your lights. So when I see people ask me to don't have lights, I think, no, I'm too fun for that. I'm too fun for you. You're too boring for me. And I'll tell you guys a secret. There was a time when I did lives with Dr. Ken Berry where I did not stand at the kitchen with the lights. I sat at the kitchen table, very serious like, with my solid curtain behind me. And he was like, where are my lights, Dory? I don't get lights. Why everybody else gets lights and I don't get any lights? And I said, well, it's not very professional, Dr. Ken. And he was like, I don't care. Professional's professional. Everybody else gets lights. I want to have some lights too. And from then on, the lights just stayed. I won't lie. The lights were originally a one-time thing. It was a one-time thing. I was doing a Thursday night karaoke recipe, and I brought out my disco lights, and you guys went nuts. Like, you loved them. And I was like, you know what? That actually really does make being in my kitchen more fun. Like, does it sound silly? But as soon as I turn on my music and I turn on my lights in my kitchen, I know I'm about to have some fun in my kitchen. It's no longer, oh my God, I'm dying and I don't want to cook for anybody. My lights are on, my music's going. I'm having me some fun. Fun. We're going to come around to that in the last topic, and we're going to talk about upcoming Q&A. So I'm super excited. We're going to get together again next Monday with my doctor, Doctor Serrano, and we're going to talk about the different kinds of bariatric surgery and why that's different. I have a very small base knowledge about each different surgery, but I can't share with you guys a wealth of knowledge about each separate surgery and why that's different. I can tell you from my personal experience what I found, what surgery I had, how I healed, how I eat post-surgery, but I'm not a scientist and I'm not a doctor. Don't let the hair fool you. I don't even play one on TV. Just saying. Dr. Dory's in the house. I don't think anybody's going to mistake me for a doctor. So we're going to actually get to sit down with Dr. Serrano and talk to him about the differences between each procedure and what that makes a difference for you post-op. So for example, I had gastric sleeve placation. I might not eat the same post-op as somebody who had bypass, or somebody who had lap band, or somebody who had a different form of weight loss surgery. And I know that this is information we need. Like, we're dying for this. And I will tell you guys, sadly, in our keto community, and I love our keto community, don't get me wrong. I love the doctors in our community. I love the people who are out there sharing. But collectively, there's not a lot of knowledge about post-bariatrics and a ketogenic way of eating. When I found this by accident, people lined up to tell me that keto was not for me. If I couldn't eat, 1,600 to 2,000 calories a day, it wasn't for me. So I think that especially for people like me, we struggle. There's not a base of general knowledge out there for us like there is for everybody else. There's no meal plans for us. I have looked. There is nowhere that I have come across where anybody has built a meal plan that's the right macros for me, that's the right amount of food for me. And I won't lie, I've even approached, guys, I've lost track of the numbers. Basically in the last year, every single person that I've come across that builds meal plans, I'm like, hey now, so want to help me figure out how to build bariatric meal plans? And they're like, oh, well, what's different about them? So really all I can tell them is how my macros differ, but nobody has the time or energy to take that on. I've yet to come across anybody who said, yes, that sounds like a really cool project. I would love to take that on with you. And I don't know how to do the builder part, right? Like, I know how to adjust macros. I know how to figure out what works for you. I know how to track my food backwards. I know how to teach you how to customize your own macros. What I don't know how to do is build that into a plan where you can lay it out on a sheet of paper and say, this is what you do for the week. You know, all of the pieces of the things I know how to build all of those things, but to put it together in an actual plan, not my area of expertise. And I won't lie to you guys, my plate is very full of a lot of different kinds of projects, and I would much rather collaborate with somebody that's their true passion. Just doing meal plans is their passion. You know, we can collaborate, I can give input, and we can build it together. But I don't have time right now to take on my plate an entire project of learning how to build meal plans. I just don't have time. Chantel says she's had several patients that have died from these surgeries, and if it wasn't for the bariatric surgery themselves, they left the country for skin lifts and infection. They had infection. And that's something that I want to talk about too, because there are risks involved in surgery. These are things that I really thought long and hard about. Like, I don't want you guys to think that I just one day made a flippant decision about having weight loss surgery. The first time I contemplated weight loss surgery, my son was 6 months old. I was tipping at 300 pounds, and I realized that I probably wouldn't live until my son was 20 years old. So I thought about weight loss surgery. I looked into it. I consulted with my family doctor. I looked into what programs they had at the time. At the time, they had lap band. You had to track all of your food and all of your eating for 2 full years to prove that you were committed to this program before they would allow you surgery. And I was really ready to start that process. And then my best friend really tore a strip off of me. You know, there was a lot of risk involved, and who was I and how dare I? And I had a young child to think of. And I thought, okay. And then the second time my son was 3. And then the next time he was 5. And the next time he was 7. And then he was 9. And I didn't actually have surgery until he was 13. But something else happened right around that time. My mother had her first stroke. And I realized that I was exactly 10 years younger than my mother was when she had her first stroke. So even though I had been really giving a lot of thought to surgery, and in that 13 years, I tried every way I could imagine to lose weight, but everything made me feel deprived, right? Like, I could do it for a couple of days, and then I felt like I had suffered so much, been deprived so much, that I would binge. And then that was it. Then the diet was done. And then I had to wait another 3 months to be motivated enough to try again, because I failed every time. And you get to the point where you get tired of trying and failing, And you have a lot of people around you who will say things like, oh, new diet. How long's this one gonna last? And when they say it, 5 days, like 5 days is your maximum. But at the same point, you get mad at them too. And you think, who are you to tell me? I'm not going to give up. I'm not giving up this time. But then they just watch you like a hawk to see how many days. It's almost like, it's like the Deadpool for dieting, right? Like, especially if you work places where people are not supportive. They will literally make a work pool about, how long will this last? Will you stick to this one this time? When I had my surgery, it was actually a big thing at work. One of the girls at work made jokes about going to Mexico for surgery and coming home without your kidneys. And she actually had her mother text me while I was in Mexico to say, oh, hi, Stephanie just wants to know if you still have both your kidneys. And I was like, wow, I'm on a week's vacation from work, and you are literally texting me in Mexico just to give me a hard time about the fact that I made a choice for myself, for my own body, to go and have surgery in Mexico. That is like so grown up and classy of you. And she was a woman in her 50s. Like, she wasn't, 20 years old and didn't know better. I mean, her daughter was in her 20s, but she took that direction from her daughter and texted me up in Mexico. Oh, Stephanie wants to know. And my answer was yes, I still have my kidneys and a really awesome purse I bought too, by the way. Just saying. Just saying. Oh my goodness. Oh. Chantel says, oh yay. Rocking the size 6. These ones are 5s now, baby. I went from the 7 to the 5. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. Like seriously. And Crystal, she's telling you guys, when I got in my size 5s, I wanted to use the mall announcement system. I really feel like everybody should know that I'm wearing a size 5 now. They didn't feel it was appropriate to share that over the loudspeaker. And I think that's just greedy and selfish. I think if you have a loudspeaker, you should allow people to share things that will share joy. Just saying, like, if you have a loudspeaker, don't be so greedy. Be so greedy with that. I gotta be like that. Oh, thank you, Chantel. She says she's so proud of me. Crystal says people don't want you to make yourself better. Oh, yes, they're quite comfortable keeping you right where you are. Let's talk about that, baby. Let's talk about that. Because you know what? We all have those people in our lives. If they are our boss, they're our friends, they're our lovers, they are our family, and people get used to you being the way that you are. And when you're unhappy and when you're unhealthy, you're a target too. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I have spent so much of my life being a soft target. I don't know what to call it other than that, with a combination of all of the things. I was unhappy, I was unhealthy, I was depressed, I had anxiety. All of these things weighed out together, and I just never really was. Do you know what I mean? Like, does that even make sense? I feel like there were better words building up in my head to that, and then they just came out with it. I don't know. But there are people who love that about you, right? My ex-boyfriend loved my lack of self-confidence. He loved that I was afraid to go out in public without him right on my arm, because guess what? I was really super easy to watch that way. And people who control you tend to do other things as well, right? Like, they tend to be people who mistreat you in other areas of your life. If they're your friends and they're quite controlling, they will usually, like my friend at the time, want to have a say about the important decisions in your life, right? Whether it's your decision or not, their opinion is more important, and they will bully you and they will pressure you until you give in and you listen, right? And once you start to feel better about yourself and build your self-confidence, and you start to set that boundary, then guess what? All of a sudden, you're not so easy. Like, you're not such an easy target anymore. You're not the always says yes pushover. You're not the, oh, well, I can just guilt her into it and she'll do it girl anymore, right? And that's a hard adjustment for a lot of people. And I will say this, they will either fall in line with the new you, or they'll fall right out of your life altogether, because the new you is too difficult. It's too much work to convince the new you to do the things that the old you did so willingly, right? The old you bent over backwards for your friends, your family, your co-workers. The old you was desperate for approval and, would be that one who's always catching the tab, always doing the extra. I had many friends over the years that were never a 50-50 friendship, like 70-30 at best. We all put ourselves in those situations when we don't feel valuable, right? And it honestly comes down to self-love, self-kindness, self-acceptance is really what it comes down to. Because when the day comes, when you say to yourself, you know what? I'm worth more than that. I'm worth more than for somebody to treat me like that. And I will choose people to associate who don't treat me like that. You'll be shocked how much your life changes. And it's funny because it's almost a passive decision, but a proactive action. As weird as that sounds, you don't even have to do anything. You don't. It's just putting out to the universe, this is my boundary. I no longer accept people around me who treat me this way. And it sounds crazy, but as soon as you say that out loud, you'll be shocked how much it absolutely changes your life. Like, literally. Say it out loud. Say it to yourself in the mirror. Say it out loud every single day for a week if you need to. Write it on a sticky note. Have it in your car. Have it in your wallet. I don't care. Have it everywhere you look for a week if you need to. But the moment that you can say to yourself, I have value. I am worth more than people who treat me that way, and I will no longer allow those people into my space. It's literally like the sky opens up and you sing the hallelujah song, and I swear the people who don't accept it just move on. Because you're firm in that belief. There's no way to argue that. Nobody can argue with you and say you are wrong. It's not based on emotion. And I won't lie, I've lost a lot of arguments due to emotion because I'm a crier. Like, I can't say anything without crying about it. And then people are like, now you've lost all value to your conversation because you're so emotional. And I lose arguments based on emotion, which I think is bullshit. Like, just saying. I feel everything emotionally. I can't have a conversation about something that moves me and not become emotional about it. But setting a boundary isn't that, right? Setting a boundary isn't saying, oh my God, you hurt my feelings and I don't like it when you do that and I wish you wouldn't do that. It's flat out just saying, I don't allow that energy around me. Period. Nobody can argue that, right? Like, say for example, I had a lot of fun with this with my ex-best friend when I started changing, because in the beginning she was like, oh my God, I love this take no shit attitude you've got, Dory. It's amazing. I love it. I love this new confidence that you have. I love that you're standing up for yourself. I love that you're not everybody's doormat anymore. Until she was like, oh, so you're not going to take my shit anymore either then. Oh. Well, are you sure though? Because, mine's better than other people's. And I was like, no, actually, it's not. And it's very freeing. It's scary though. I won't lie. I went a lot of years without any friends at all, because how do you build those bonds of friendship when you don't understand what a healthy friendship is? Now, there's the question for the day. I think we're going to leave that one off, and we'll talk about that one next. Talk about it Tuesday, because I think that is a separate topic all by itself. How do you build healthy relationships when you have no basis? When you've never had a healthy, stable relationship in your life? Not with your parents, not with your friends, not with anyone you've ever dated. So how do you build that? How do you see that in your mind? How do you create it? And how do we live a life with positive relationships? So, mark me, because I sometimes forget these things. Mark me. This is what we're going to talk about next Tuesday. Give me 1 second. I'm going to actually blow my nose because I'm sniffly, and it's just so weird to do that on camera. Oh. Okay, forgive me. I can't sniffle anymore. That's just terrible. Okay, so we get to talk with Dr. Serrano next week. And we are going to talk about building healthy relationships next week. And last thing that we're going to talk about today, we're going to have some fun. And we're going to rant a little bit. I saved us a good 20 minutes for this part. And we are going to, for the first time ever, and I have a feeling this is going to end up being a regular feature because I think we're going to like this one. We're going to talk crabby keto. What makes you crabby? Like, what makes you crabby about keto? Is it, it makes you crabby that nobody understands that you don't want to just eat one bun, one piece of cake? Does it make you crabby that, everything under the sun that you love has sugar in it? That made me crabby for a long, long time. I won't lie. I was highly addicted to sugar, and I didn't want to give up all of my things. I wanted to be healthy, but I didn't want to give up all of the things. And I spent the first 2 months, I think, in crabby keto mode. I was doing it, but I was not liking it. I was like, I will eat healthy if I must, whatever, you're not the boss of me. And I wasn't enjoying it. I hadn't gotten to the point yet where I had stopped bemoaning the things that I thought I was going to miss. And I say thought I was going to miss because the irony of that is I eat a wider variety of more interesting foods now than I ever did before. And does that sound crazy? But I invest more time in my food. I invest more energy in my food. Everything doesn't come out of a can or out of a box anymore, and it used to. Everything I made either came out of a can or out of a box or out of a pre-made, pre-packaged something or other. The only fresh ingredients I ever had in my house were onions and garlic and the odd vegetable once in a while. But to be honest, back in the day, I kept frozen veggies mostly because nobody would eat them in my house and it would go to waste. So I'd go and spend a bunch of money on fruit and vegetables and nobody would eat them. So I stopped buying them and I started only buying frozen. And we literally lived off of processed junk. That's it. And I wonder why I wasn't healthy, why I wasn't happy, why I didn't feel emotionally balanced. I can't imagine why I didn't feel emotionally balanced. I think I was probably only consuming hundreds upon hundreds of grams of sugar a day when I look back on it now. Things like my coffee creamer that had, 22 grams of sugar per tablespoon that you put 3 tablespoons in and have 3 coffees. Ooh, quick math. That's a lot of math. 3 times 22 times 5 or 6. And then I was wondering why. I used to go through a bottle of International Creamer Delight, the big 1 liter bottle, one a week by myself. And I added sugar to that too. I didn't just have the creamer in there. I had the creamer and some sugar because it's supposed to have sugar. Right? It was insane. I don't know how my spoon did not stand up in my coffee cup, how I used to drink it. And the irony of that is I now have zero, not even artificial sweetener in my coffee. Once in a blue moon, if I'm doing a sweet evening coffee and I want a salted caramel with a hint of sweetness, but I honestly do not put sweetener in my coffee anymore. And it was by accident. It was totally by accident, and this is a good story. So I'm going to have a sip, and then I'll tell you guys the story, because this one's good. It's funny. So this falls into, do I like that sweetener? Everybody has different taste buds, and you will like different sweeteners for different applications. They each taste different. They each have a different flavor, texture, note to them. They all have a different aftertaste, all of these things. So I had said to a keto friend of mine at the time, what do you like in your coffee? And she said to me, xylitol, Dory. Xylitol is the bomb in your bulletproof coffee. And I had some of that on hand. So I had been using stevia. Stevia is what I usually used. But I had some of the Zytol on hand, and I put some in it, and it was bad. Like, dude, it was so bad. It was so bad. That was the first time I ever threw away a half of a bulletproof coffee. I drank half of it. I threw the other half away. And since that day, just the thought of sweetness in my coffee makes me want to hurl. I've asked her a couple of times in between then if that was by accident or accidentally on purpose. Like, she won't fess up though. She still says she likes it. I was like, dear God, how could you like that? How could anybody like that? Oh my God, nobody likes that. Oh my goodness. Crystal says, yes, watch them manipulate when you start to change. I have all of that in my life. My mom just started on the keto plan today. Yay! It's her 3rd day and feeling great already. Good luck. Yay. Oh my goodness. You know what? It seriously doesn't take very long to start feeling really, really good. Like really, really good. Crystal says, yes, next week we're going to build, I love you marking me. I love it. Next week, building healthy relationships. Yeah. Sorry, I had to go smoke some crack to help my weight. Yeah, you know what? And it's funny how many people think that what they do is healthy and that's fine, but they have an opinion about what you do, right? Denise said she never added sugar, but she used 2 bottles a week. And I know I'm not the only one. Like, I was addicted to that stuff. I would have multiple flavors in the fridge. Like, I would have one that was just mine that was off limits. And I would have a couple other flavors that other people could use. But when I think about how much I was spending a week in flavored creamer, I kind of spend that now in heavy cream instead. You know, it swaps out. And then I can add my own flavor to it. I can add whatever I want. And then it instantly becomes any flavor I want. And I'm not restricted by flavor. My only restriction when it comes to flavor is the bounds of my basket. And my basket is huge. I won't lie to you guys. It's not a small collection. It did not take me a small amount of time to build up. I probably have about $250 worth of flavoring extracts. But I love them. I love them because it was then that I realized, it was the moment that I realized I could take basic keto foods and I could make them to my wildest of imagination. I could take a fathead dough pizza and I could make it neon and I could make it mermaid, or I could take a bulletproof coffee and I could add sparkles and color and white chocolate and create the first unicorn coffee. And when I realized I could do those things and I could step out of the box, that's when keto became real for me. That's when it became what I knew I was going to really do for the rest of my life, because it just became so easy. Like, it's an afterthought to me now. I don't think about eating the foods that I can't have. I think about making a version of that I can have. Like, I just don't miss those things. If I do miss them, my immediate thought is, how can I make that? How can I have that? How can I do that? If somebody else asks for something, that's my first thought, is how can I make that for them so that they can have? When in the beginning, when I started this and I got mad at all the keto Nazi groups telling me I couldn't have this and I couldn't have that, and, you know, food color kills, and, you know, flavoring extracts, the devil, and all of these awesome, colorful things that I love to hear, I realized that that's what made the difference for me. Because you know what? I'm not going to spend the rest of my life eating, you know, chicken breast with butter on it and broccoli on the side with olive oil. I'm just not. Like, I'm not. If it's not sustainable, if I can't have my favorite desserts, if I can't have a cocktail once in a while, if I can't, you know, bring a fun dessert to a dinner party, then really what's the point? Like, I'm not even living at that point. Like, I'm existing. I'm eating to exist. And you know what? If I wanted to eat to exist, then I would do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are people who do that. I think a lot of carnivores end up that direction because that's what's left, right? You got your meat, you got your butter, you eat, you get your fuel, you move on. But for me, eating is about a full, whole life experience. You know, it's not just about the food itself. It's how I feel about the food. It's the community that I feel around food. It's the feeling of sharing something that you love with the people around you. It's about enjoying things that are seasonal and special. And when I make something and I take a picture of it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have that forever now. Like, forever. I'll be able to remember the time I made that pretty whatsits, and that for me makes food more enjoyable. To be able to say, you know what, I thoroughly enjoyed every part of that. I'm not just trudging along on the treadmill eating the basic what everybody says, high fat, moderate protein, low carb, blah blah. Every day I have eggs, every Tuesday I have steak, every Thursday I have meatloaf. Like, I think for me it would be worse than death. Like, it would be worse than death. That's why I don't meal plan. Because by Wednesday, I won't want what I thought I wanted on Wednesday. Because Wednesday morning, I would have seen somebody post something in their feed and now I want to eat that. Well, but I've already planned something. Well, now I'm disappointed and I've already disappointed myself and I haven't even eaten anything yet. Like, because one of two things will happen. I'll either eat what I planned to eat and hate it the whole time and be disappointed, or I'll be creative, I'll make something else and be like, well, that wasn't the plan. How convenient was that? I was supposed to plan for the whole week, and I'm not that person. I like to decide what I want to have right now. For example, I was chit-chatting with Crystal this morning/afternoon, I guess. Morning/afternoon. And I decided 2 more cocktails we're going to create. We're going to do that later this afternoon when I come back from dropping off my brother. But just because we were chit-chatting about some of our favorite flavors, and I thought, why not? Let's make that. Let's do another seasonal cocktail, because guys, all day long you can find a million people to chat with you about keto. How do you keto? What can you do? How do you do this? What are the basics? How do I intermittent fast? We can do that too. I love all that stuff. We can do that too. But very few people can show you how to take the things you always wanted and then make them into something that we can have. I mean, and I want to sound all braggy, but most people don't think of things like their own sparkle sugar-free vodka. I did that a year ago. Like, a whole year ago I did that. And it's just the way my brain works, because I want the fun, right? Like, I want it, I need it. That is what makes it sustainable every day for me. Because you know what? The basic super strict keto, I could do that for a week. I could. Like, it tastes pretty good. You get to have the bacon and the cheese. But after a week, I'd be bored. And I'd be like, well, but I want to have chai tea frappuccino from McDonald's. So I made a version of that. It's St. Patrick's Day, and I love Shamrock Shakes, 64 grams of sugar, just saying. I made that because why not make a version of what I want, the flavor I want, and make it, right? So I challenge you guys to do that. Think outside the box. You know what? Think outside the box. We don't have to live inside of such a restricted world where we can only have this, only have that, only, until we binge, right? I can't be the only one who can limit things for a certain amount of time and then I go right off the rails, like right off. Because I can't just have a donut because I didn't have a donut for a week. I need to buy a box of donuts and eat 6 donuts. Because really, I didn't have a donut every single one of those days this week. So it's like I'm literally trying to make up for what I missed during the week in one weekend. So if I normally would have had, I'd go through drive-thru and grab a coffee and a donut every day. I was such a good girl. I didn't get any coffee or any donuts all this week. But then guess what? I'd hit the drive-thru on Saturday and grab up a 6-pack of donuts because I was a good girl. Like, I didn't have a donut, like, even one even not even a donut hole. Like, I didn't even have that. So then my reward would be to, eat all of the junk food I would have consumed an entire week in 2 days and make myself sick. Because that's what you do. Like, is that what you do? Like, maybe it could just be me. Like, I don't know. It could just be me. I could be the only one who had the weirdest binging, like, holy man, did I binge. Oh, yes, Chantel, we made carrot cake for your wedding. Yes, and for your birthday. And that one was a really fun one. Nancy and I chatted about that one. And what we decided to do, because I've seen a few variations on carrot cake, but what we decided to do for that one was we used coconut, but I colored the coconut orange. So it gave the texture and the look and the feel of the carrot without the carrot. So, and I've seen a few variations since that I think I want to try. I think we're going to do an update for this year for you, Miss Darling. And I think we're going to attempt one with a blend of zucchini and coconut. And we might even use a little bit of squash, because squash is the right color and the right texture, and it would piece out, yo. My goodness. Oh, goodness. It would piece out like carrots would. Oh, my goodness. I'm hilarious. I'm going to put that out there. And I'm going to say, you know what? I think the best jokes are the ones that only you laugh at. And you're like, ah. Oh, yes. Patty says, a hole is the empty space in the donut, so it must be carb-free, right? LOL. I used to have a lot of sayings like that back in my fat days. Things like, if you break a cookie in half, all the calories fall out, and then it doesn't count. Right? That one was my favorite. Oh, no, I already broke this cookie. This one's not going to make me fat. It's all good. It's broken. It broke it. Another one of my favorites was, if nobody's looking, it doesn't count, right? Like, you only actually have to count the calories you consume when other human eyes see you do it. The dog doesn't count. The dog caught me eating a lot of bad things, but she doesn't count because she couldn't tell anybody. She couldn't tattle. If I'd had a talking dog, that might have counted, but she couldn't tell on me. So as long as no real people saw me eat it, it didn't count. Didn't count, whatever. I only ate like a bird today. I didn't eat 3 chocolate bars. You didn't see me do that. I don't know what you're talking about. And then I'd hide the wrappers, because that also makes it like, it double doesn't count. I'm going to put that out there and say it double doesn't count if nobody saw you and they never saw the evidence, right? Like, if you ever have to explain why there's 10 candy bar wrappers in the garbage, it's kind of a shameful moment. I blame it on other people. I don't know. And then you just say, why are you picking in the garbage? Garbage picker. And then you walk away really fast. Why are you looking at the garbage picker? I put that underneath of other garbage. You were clearly picking through that, and then you walk away. And then they're just left standing there going, it was just in there though. No, deflect and run. That's exactly how we do. Crystal says she was thinking spaghetti squash. It would have the texture and shred like carrots, and it's kind of sweet. So yeah, I think we're going to try that. What I need to do as well is I need to take a look and see if I still have carrot flavored extract. I might need to update my flavor on that. But man, guys, Crystal got my brain going crazy today. And I'm thinking of all like these awesome, I'm thinking classic favorites from our childhood as a cocktail. Because there were certain flavors that, man, I loved when I was a kid. And some of those I outgrew. I won't lie, like Tiger ice cream, I kind of outgrew that. But I think it would make an amazing cocktail now. So I'm going to start that. And we're going to do a series called Cocktails from My Childhood. Is that evil? Is that evil to take all the flavors that I love from childhood and then dirty them with alcohol? Is that sinning? Oh my goodness. Oh, and I think soon you guys will think I'm an alcoholic, and that's so not the case. I just like thinking of stuff. I just like thinking of stuff. And I blame Crystal. I blame Crystal because she said your peppermint vodka would be awesome on chocolate ice cream. Well, then that just made me think of like 4 more flavors. It's your fault. I blame you. I blame thee. It's pure sin. Go to hell, Dory. Go to hell. Oh my goodness. I won't lie. That is one of the things that one of my critics said in the beginning, that, you know, she promotes alcohol and food color and flavor. She will go to hell and bring everyone with her. You better stop her. Look at her leading all the people straight the way to hell. Follow me, baby. I know a shortcut. Follow me, baby. I know all the good shortcuts. Woo! I'll tell you what, the company there will be fun, though. I'm just saying, and we'll have all the best alcohol. Okay, so let's get our taco song back. I gotta sign out. It's time to go pick up my brother. And then I'm going to get set up, and we are indeed going to make 2 brand new cocktails this afternoon. I will also tell you, we only use 1/2 ounce of alcohol because Dory has to drink them. So, Dory's not getting drunk today. We're only having 2 very small cocktails. And we're going to dance. Because what is cocktails without dancing? That's crazy talk now. So, let's get our taco rain on. Oh no. Oh goodness. Okay, so this is the ×2 speed. This is my favorite one. By 4, it gets kind of crazy. See you guys so soon.